Okay, welcome everyone. That's another edition of BA11TV, and I'm joined today for season 2, episode 4 with Danny Greaves and Neil Simons. How are you doing, both of you? Danny?
Yeah, all good. Thanks, Scott. All good. Melting a little bit in this heat. It's going to get warmer by the weekend, but all good.
Definitely. Simo, how are you doing there?
Yeah, not too bad. Exactly the same. It is pretty hot at the moment, so but not going to complain. Love the warm weather, so long may it continue. Other than the issues it's causing to our pitch, but a bit of crop circles popping up by the looks of it. But yeah, that'll soon be sorted out, hopefully.
Yeah, well, are they the sprinkler circles that seem to be moving around the pitch like UFOs? Yeah. So actually, speaking of the heat, how does it feel now that you're kind of on the other side of the line? I mean, when you were both playing, did you kind of dread those sort of games? Well, Danny, I can imagine stood in the sticks in 28 degrees isn't great.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, clearly I didn't mind too much because I wasn't the one running around. Although back in the day, 15 years ago, when you had the massive goalkeeping tops with all the pads and stuff like that built into it, that was quite hot wearing the old school kits.
I used to spend half my time on the floor, so at least weather's no good for me. I need rain. I need a bit of ability that allows me to slide and not actually tear up my legs. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could probably still slide quite far, but you're just damaging yourself as well.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, that kind of moves us nicely on, really. I mean, this summer has been hot and has been a sort of an interesting pre-season from that capacity. So last time we chatted, Danny, back a couple of weeks ago, just as pre-season was beginning, you'd both put together a training plan for the players to go out there to sort of assess their own fitness over 2 weeks, and then into the pre-season itself. And how did the players return? How did you feel they were conditioned?
Yeah, it was a really good thing for us to do, I think, because we came back, we had 2 training sessions, and then we went straight into a tough game against Salisbury. So it was something that we needed the boys to do to come back at a good level, so we don't pick up injuries in the games. But overall, yeah, they came back in really good shape. Some people had significantly improved their various scores and times on some of the testing versus where they were last year, and some people were exactly where we needed them to be. So yeah, we were really impressed with the levels, and I think it showed in the early games. Actually, Simo, teams were commenting on how fit we were. The supporters were commenting on how fit we were in the early games. So stood us in good stead.
So we've seen, like in the Premier League, with someone like Tottenham with Conte getting a lot of the headlines for making players sick during pre-season. Is that something that you aim to do, Simo, or is that just a byproduct of?
Always have aspirations, but yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't take a lot to make some of these guys sick. That's for sure. But no, it's that we tried to focus on the whole point of the program was to kind of get some core level of fitness into them, so that when they come back, actually what we were focusing on was real short, sharp bursts, as opposed to trying to build up any core fitness. So it worked well from that aspect, because we could spend time actually, like I said, working on short, sharp sprinting work rather than trying to send them off on long runs as the traditional back to pre-season is 5Ks, 10Ks, off you go. We didn't do that. We just done that 2 weeks before and let them do that themselves, and then like I said, put them through a load of tests and that. And yeah, I think they're actually in a really good place fitness-wise. I don't think fitness for our pre-season has been a problem for us as such. We haven't looked at it and gone, oh, we've blown up a little bit there. That said, we have managed minutes with players as we've gone through pre-season. So the real test is obviously still to come at the start of the season, where we'll be very sure, but I think we're pretty confident we're in a good place now.
So pre-season's gone, well, we knew when we talked about it last time that we had 4 very sort of different and tough home friendlies, and then sort of peppered in with some sort of local away friendlies as well, and then finishing on obviously Cirencester, which was a great winner this weekend. But how do you think those big sort of home friendlies have gone, sort of in front of the crowd? Has it been good to sort of play those teams on sort of level and a level above?
Yeah, no, it has. I mean, we've learned so much from the games, especially with the fact that we've built a relatively new squad with 6 or 7 new additions in there. It's really good for us to test ourselves against some of the teams from higher leagues, and they've all been really tough games. I think it means the lads have to run first and foremost, so get minutes into the legs and make sure that they're working hard. and also test us under pressure in possession as well against these top sides. And I think overall we've come out of it really, really well, really positive, and hopefully it's done us in good stead for the season.
I thought the Southampton game was great with Marcus's send off and things like that. The crowd were in good form, and a great performance against sort of Southampton B. Something the club will probably remember for a few years to come.
Yeah, I mean that was a game that we wanted to get in place. Clearly, we thank Southampton and Matt Hell for coming over and bringing their team. A technical test for the boys, playing against players who aspire to be Premiership footballers. And yeah, it was a really good day, good gate, and a really good occasion. And hopefully that's a fixture that we can get in on a regular basis. And I know they enjoyed themselves as well. So hopefully that'll be the case, and they can come back and we can do it again.
Was that something you were enjoying, Simo, sort of pitting yourself tactically against say Premier League wannabes?
Yeah. It goes a little bit out of the window pre-season, because rather than actually focusing on the game and what they're doing, actually, yes, we're still trying to gear ourselves up for the season, so we need to do that. But actually, our priority is to make sure that we're working on what we need to work on, but rather than worrying too much about others at that stage, and getting the points across and seeing those combinations work. That like I said, Greaves said, we've got quite a turnover of players this year, so a relatively new squad that needs to gel. And for us, it's all about getting our points across, how we want to play to the players. So it can get a bit convoluted at times. I'll touch on Taunton because that was a prime example of that. That was more about us doing what we had to do minutes wise. If that was a league game or that was a cup game, we would have probably changed things a lot earlier and changed formations or whatever than rather than just let it go. But we needed stuff that we needed to get out of that game ourselves. So that side of it does go a little bit out the window in pre-season, because it's about making sure the players are where they need to be and understanding what we want from them, as opposed to actually playing that game and getting a result from that game.
So you see sort of building up to a peak. Did we see that last weekend? Could have been the first game of the season, any other season, against Cirencester away. And picking up a good win there, a solid win against a team that we've always found quite tricky.
Yeah, no, I think it was a real good way to end pre-season. We always look for that last pre-season game to be a real competitive one to set you up for the season. And Cirencester making the sideways move into the Central League, it opened up the opportunity to play them, and hopefully it worked for us as it worked for them as well, and have a real competitive game. And yeah, it was a real good performance from the boys. All 16, 17 players that played a part. Everyone performed at a really high level, which has given us some real headaches going into this weekend, which is exactly what we wanted, really. I think there were a few question marks over quite a few areas actually going into Saturday's game, and now we've got even more question marks because the performance levels were so good on the day.
So are we going to see people flying in at training on Tuesday this week to claim their places, leave a mark on someone?
Yeah, that's usually that's.
Tell them they're training on Tuesday as well as Wednesday.
Oh, okay. Well,
no, just Wednesday.
Just Wednesday this week.
Okay. Yeah. That's to be fair, that's usually the case on the last session. Everyone's right at it, and it's usually us trying to calm them down a little bit. So yeah, I'm sure that'd be the case.
So they take us on the start of the season. So they change around in the fixtures. We've got 3 home games in a row at the start of the league campaign. Starting off with obviously Evesham, Willand, and then Totton. From those corresponding fixtures last year, we picked up 4 points out of those at 9. Is that something that you think you're looking to do again, or you'd want to better that? How is that sort of, how are you approaching those 3?
Yeah, I think to a certain extent, last season kind of goes out the window, and we've spoken to the players about last season, and almost said we want to draw a line under that. We want to put that to bed. We don't want that hangover of always referencing back to last year. If we lose a game, we don't want to be thinking, we only lost 4 last year, we can't afford to lose them anymore. That's got to go to one side. It's a brand new season. Everybody starts on 0 points. We're all equal at this stage, and we just want to go into every game and try and give everything we've got and try and win it. I'm conscious of the fact that we have got a new group of players that have come together. Pre-season, we're trying to build combinations and partnerships, but that always hasn't been an option to us because of unavailability or holidays and stuff like that, which is just normal through pre-season. So it could take us 2, 3, 4 weeks until we really find the rhythm. So just to, I guess, manage expectations, I think it could be a few weeks before we really are where we want to be. But tough games. Evesham have had a change of manager. They'll be coming to us with nothing to lose. They'll be well organised, and that'll be a tough one. Willand are always a good footballing side and always caused us trouble home and away. And we know about Tottenham, one of the favourites, if not the favourites for the league. Big spenders, three tough games.
So now that you said I can't talk about last season, that takes away like nearly every question I've got next.
The players can. The players can talk about it.
The fans can still talk about last year. There's a lot to enjoy about last year. Let's not forget.
Sure.
So you mentioned those sort of come in. So we've got Evesham this Saturday, and then straight away with the Willand on the Tuesday after that. When you start to talk about the players coming in and the relationships and building those bonds, you say, is that something, because it was something you were quite proud of last year, both of you. Is that something that you're saying is it already building, or is it still something that you think this still needs improving, or is it?
Yeah, Simo, thoughts?
Yeah, it is building because we do a lot of work in pre-season, as we said. Like, we in the sessions that we put on, we try and focus a lot on patterns and what we want to do and what we want to achieve, and ultimately that obviously helps those partnerships grow. Games helps the partnerships grow, which is why Greaves has said that it could take 2 or 3 weeks for us to continue to gel, but we're in a good place, as we've said, and we've already seen those combinations and partnerships start to grow. And I think we've already touched on it. Simon Sester Saturday, I think, was up there, one of our best performances of pre-season, and that was mainly down to a lot of things that we've done on a training pitch actually really starting to come through now. So it will take time for the guys to take stuff on board, but yeah, that's what pre-season is about, and we hope we've done a good enough job to get to where we need to be. But as the longer we go on playing in the formation, playing in those partnerships as we do, the better it will become. So that's why it's in a good place, but there's still room to grow, I would say.
And team social, Scott. Team socials are massive. We had a team night out on Saturday, and every player was there, which just goes to show that we have started to build a good spirit already. Usually you get people dropping out, but we had everybody there, all having a beer together, and hopefully we'll see that come through in the opening weeks of the season, a real togetherness and spirit.
Okay, well, as you both sort of manage the expectations there, I'm not. I'm just going to say, yeah, we're still going to be amazing. But one of the things that we're looking forward to, sort of not on the pitch, but just around the pitch, is supporters. Obviously, we got fantastic levels of support last year, and obviously we want that to continue and go again. We've sold more 60 season tickets, which is more than, I think it's almost double more than we've ever sold before. We've sold nearly 300 junior tickets as well on the season ticket side. So given the fact that most of the people are coming to watch you guys manage and play, how does that feel? Is it kind of give you that confidence that there's faith behind you from the supporters and everything going into another season?
Yeah, honestly, is the support we get is unbelievable. Could just see it growing over the course of last year. Obviously, with the first game, the Highworth game being a free ticket one, I think that set the tone. But I think averaging 400 up until Christmas, and then averaging 700 over the second half of last season, or close to 600, 700 over the second half last season. I think it's just unbelievable, and to see those people picking up season tickets and stuff like that over the course of the summer, it makes you feel proud, because you're obviously doing something right on the pitch for those people to want to come and spend their money and come back and watch you. But it's massively important as well. I've spoken to managers over the course of last season and in the summer, and they all comment on the crowd especially when we start quick, and if we go a goal up, the fans really get behind you, and it makes it difficult for away teams. So they have a massive part to play.
I think just to add to that, what's important, what's one of the figures you said then, what was it, 280 junior tickets? Is it to or close to 300? That is superb. Like, to have the younger guys coming in. Obviously, we've seen young ultras come in. They're challenging the older ultras, should I say, when it comes to games and making noise, and it's fantastic to see. But a lot of the links obviously go back to from United and what we do with the kids back there, and start to see that coming through as well, and that relationship grow. It's been superb, and go back to obviously the BA11 day we had the other week. That just to see again all those young kids enjoying football out there and being part of it, and also feeling part of it, being able to meet the players and engage with the players. I think it's a real community team as a whole, which is then transferred over to the stands as well, because they want to be involved, which is fantastic.
I'll put my finance hat on for 2 seconds, and if you haven't already got your season ticket, Scott, do your marketing bit. They're still available, I guess.
Yeah, still available. Still available into the second game of the season, and then they're still online. You can buy them now.
Still get them.
£10 for a junior ticket.
Can't go wrong. Value for money.
Can't do anything for £10 for a whole year, can you? It's like crazy. Yeah. Should we put that up, or should we not? Right, we'll move on. One of the things, Neil, you mentioned there about the connection to Freetown United, and what obviously coming through the youth and everything like that. And then you've gone and really confused us all by signing Ben Starr. So as we were all looking up, going, that's a great move, Ben. How did you get that in there? As well as your coaching badges. You did then inform us it was not the same Ben Starr. So we now do have 2 Ben Starrs within the club. But can you tell us?
Yeah, it was not the Ben Starr that we us know. It's Ben Starr. Yeah, different Ben Starr. He's really impressed us in pre-season. He's been around the squad for quite a bit of pre-season. And as you know, with Joe moving on, we had to look at bringing options in at that left wing back position. And he was actually recommended to Greaves at one point.
Dan Sackman, manager of Tottenham last season, recommended him. He managed him at Portsmouth University, came highly recommended.
Yeah, and he was at Salisbury for a bit last year. So he's good, a good pedigree. We know that he's a young lad. He's still learning. So that's good for us, because we like to coach and develop players. So we think we can help him a lot as well. And yeah, excited actually to he gives us balance to the squad as well, being left-footed. So excited to have him as part of the squad. And it'd be good to see how he develops through the year, because I think he will kick on. He's one of those that will develop as the year goes on. I think he will kick on.
Well, I think it's always a good sign, well, for you guys, when 2 minutes after the first game that he's played in, I've had 2 passive-aggressive messages on Facebook Messenger to say, you better sign him. I'm thinking, I can't do anything about it. I can sign him up and he can write match reports if he wants, but yeah. But no, it's a good sign that the fans were straight away onto it and bought into that. And again, you've got Laurent joining as well. So yeah, tell us how that came about. Yeah,
so I think sometimes circumstances open up opportunities, and through pre-season, I think it was the second game, James Ollis picked up a little niggle to his hamstring that was going to keep him out for a few weeks, and Laurent actually got in touch with myself over the summer, but it just wasn't quite the right thing for me at the time. But after Ollis's injury, I was on the phone, and Laurent come into training. We'd have a look at him, and he's come back as a real physical specimen. He's in real good condition, which was actually really, really positive for me, because I've worked with Laurent in the past on a couple of occasions, and it's always been just that fitness side of things that's let him down. His ability is second to none, and now he's come back in real physical condition, real peak condition. I think we've got a real player on our hands, and just really, really excited to see what he can do during the season.
Sima, you kind of referred to Ben as kind of like into the sort of Joe O'Loughlin position, that sort of thing like that. Where do you see Lauren playing? Is it definitely a target man up front? Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, I think he's to be honest, he's an all-round forward player. He's big and strong. He can hold the ball up. He's quick, so he can run in behind. He's technically decent, so he can drop into little pockets and link play up. He's an all-round forward player, and we just need to see goals from him now. But he got his goal at Bradford, which will hopefully boost his confidence in front of goal. But yeah, I think goals are the thing to come for him as he matures and grows. But yeah, he's got a bit of everything, the lad.
So going back to last year, obviously your team was very much known for pretty much fast attacking play with James, John, Rex, Kane all coming through. Now you've got the sort of two, should we say, bigger men, more hold-up men in Luke and Lauren, sorry. And is that signifying a style of change, or are they coming into play that sort of way to give you different options?
It's to give us different options, to be honest with you. We still believe in the foundations of how we play. Look, like I said, we're not going to dwell on last year, but we finished second in the league. League table doesn't tend to lie at the end of the season, so could have been too far away. So we know that we weren't too far away. We're perfectionists. We were devastated we didn't win the league. That's just who me and Greaves are. So we went away, had a look at it, and said, right, how do we get stronger for the year ahead? What do we need to tweak? And it is only 1-2% here and there. What do we need to tweak that's going to make that difference? We believe, and that's why we've gone out and specifically signed the players that we have. They've all been pretty much targeted. So we wanted to make a few changes, but to all intents and purposes, we still have the core beliefs of how we played last year, and that's how Greaves wants to play. And like I said, the proof's in the pudding. We finished second last year, so we can't be that far away. So it just gives us different options and the ability to be a bit more adaptable, I would say, this season as opposed to where we were last season.
I think you both started mentioning at the start that it's a new squad, some changes coming in, but there is still a real core from last season there, going through the defence with Teal, Maidman, Baker, Hallett, Monks, Smith, John Davis, Hollis.
Yeah, there's a real strong core of the squad in place. And there's in the names you just mentioned there's some young lads in there as well who have been with us for a few years now, and we said it. I think we said it last summer. They're going to be better than they were the previous year because they're just that little bit older and wiser and experienced, and that'll be the same again. We've seen some of them really grow in the last 12 months, and I think the hurt of last year and the experiences that we went through over that 10-month period will stand those lads in good stead, and that will fuel them in going into the season. And then the new lads coming in are all real quality players that just raise that standard once again, and the existing boys need to raise their game. So I think has been a real good summer for us in retaining the players that we have and bringing the ones in that we have.
So I know the last interview we did, Danny, you talked about setting targets, setting expectations. Is it still looking at it now with a pre-season ahead, looking at those promotion and positions? That's what we're targeting. That's what we're going for.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, managing expectations in terms of how it could go at the start of the season, but I still fully expect us to pick up points and pick up wins. Performance might just be a bit disjointed, but it might take us a couple of weeks until we're firing on all cylinders. But absolutely, our aims and aspirations are to try and get promoted, whether that's winning the league or going up for a playoff. Anything less than that, let's be clear, is a failure. And I'm willing to go on record saying that because people would expect that of Froome and the players that we've got. That's our aim, that's our ambition, that's what we're going out to achieve.
Okay, and obviously other than the usual names, if you did have to pick a player, and I know that sounds a bit harsh, but like one to watch, one for the crowds to look out, not necessarily would be our star player, but just someone that fans should be looking out for.
Let Simon answer this, but I think I did this last year, deflected it.
It depends what kind of fans like, really. You get different fans. Some fans like old school players that are going to put it around and do the dirty side of it. If that's the case, I'd say Jay Adams personally. And if you're looking for a bit more flair player, a younger player coming through, then I think Owen Humphries will have a good impact on us this year, and he will do some good things. So 2 new lads that have come in. That's not to say anything about the lads that have been there before, but obviously with the fans, they'll be looking for the new lads, I would imagine. So they should look forward to seeing those two.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think like James Ollis will get stronger. He had a great season last year. I think he's got a big season ahead of him. Warren Maidman, Alex Hallett, those young boys will kick on, and I think they could have big seasons ahead of them as well. To be fair, Scott, like all 16 players are high quality, so it's really, really difficult to single any of them out, but expecting all big things from all of them, and they're all going to play a massive part. And
have you gone into, because Sam Till, I'm presuming, still a club captain for this season coming up?
Yeah. So Sam Till, captain, John Davis, vice captain, and then we've got senior boys that we lean upon, Carl Phillips, Matt Smith, George Rigg. So we've got an experienced core that we do call upon, and the dressing room manages itself. There's great lads in there, but Sam Till and John Davis as vice captain.
Brilliant. And we did talk about the fact that we don't get any penalties. Pre-season, they've been coming in thick and fast.
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
We've been getting
I did actually mention it on Wednesday. We had last Wednesday we had a little review of where we are in pre-season in terms of some of the key stats and numbers that we look at and we manage ourselves on, and yeah, penalties is one actually. We've had a great record on penalties, and we had another one on Saturday, and Luke Hopper stuck it away, and I think Owen Humphries has taken one and scored one as well. John Davis has taken one and scored as well. So I believe, am I getting confused? I think he did against Southampton, did he? John Davis?
Oh yeah.
John Davis against Southampton scored one. So so touch wood, hopefully that continues in the season, because that's kind of been a bit of an Achilles heel for us over my 4 years here.
And Simo, last year you had an amazing game plan that seemed to work out more often than not, which was cross the ball to Maps will score from any corner free kick. With Maps disappearing, you don't have to tell us, but have you got someone else earmarked to chip in with those 5-6 goals from your routines?
I'm hoping they change the rules that allow you just to bring players off a set plays, bit NFL kind of thing, and I'm going to wheel Maps back out. My plan. We need to do better from set plays. We do. Obviously, Maps had a big impact last year. We've actually looked okay from set plays. I think Alex Hallett scored from a set play in pre-season.
Owen Humphries actually scored from a second phase and a set play as well.
Yeah. So we've actually done okay. Just need to make sure that the lads don't close their eyes when trying to head a ball when it comes towards them. I think that's half the problem. So I make sure we get delivery right, which is key, and we've done a bit of work on that as well. So I'm hopeful that we'll still carry on even like Maps getting a few goals from set plays, hopefully.
Well, that's right. You've still got Matt Smith, so you can still chip in with the 2 direct corners this year.
What you need to do is make sure you interview centre halves on every single interview. That's right. They always score after the interview.
Yeah.
So, fine. Yeah.
Not forwards. I worked that out halfway through. Don't speak to a forward. Don't speak to a forward and tell them how well they're doing, because then about seconds later, gone. No. Well, going back to the start of the season, obviously those 3 games coming up. We've got the FA Cup game away at I forgot the name of the team. Buckland. I think. Yeah. Has any been there? Do you know much about them, or is it something that's a new team to you guys? Or
yeah, we to be fair to us, myself and Simo, we do our homework. Mainly Simo do our homework on most teams, and Simo actually missed the Cirencester game. Great opportunity to go and watch them. Watch Exmouth, because we will have them in the league, and also Buckland. So yeah, we've done our homework as we do, and we'll be well prepared. They're a good side. Simo's probably well placed to give his assessment of it, but good side. It'd be a tough game. Always is when you play lower opposition in the early rounds of the FA Cup.
Yeah, both me and Greaves have faced Buckland numerous times once in our previous clubs, and they've always been a good outfit, always been tough, always been on the cusp of trying to get themselves up as well. Got a great setup down there, actually, really impressed with the setup down there, always have been, and was really good again Saturday when I went down. But yeah, they will be tough. Yeah, they've got nothing to lose. You know what it's like. That's what the FA Cup is. They've got nothing to lose. We've got everything to lose, in theory. So we need to make sure we go down there, do a professional job, and if we do, I'm very confident. But if we let them play and let them play to their strengths, then like anything, it will be a battle. So we've got to make sure we go down there in the right mindset and make sure that we go and concentrate on ourselves. I think that's the key one down there. Concentrate on ourselves. The rest will take care of itself, if I'm honest.
Definitely, I think we need that because we've actually got no home games in September, have we? So it's quite interesting. So, but I think if we do get through in the FA Cup into the next round, might we have a home game, or is that?
I think it's potentially home against the winners of Melksham and Larkle.
Yeah,
is that right? Or is that the trophy?
Yeah, that's the trophy. So we
That's
haven't. I think the first 2 rounds of the FA Cup were drawn. So obviously the round has just gone this weekend, and the round that we've got, the next round hasn't been drawn yet. So
that's the trophy, isn't it? The winners of Melksham and Larkle at home.
So if we do win, we're fingers crossed for a home game, just to let the fans be able to see the team for a month.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, I mean that's again from a financial perspective, that's like not ideal, especially early doors in the season, not having a home game. So we need to absolutely make the most of the 3 home games that we've got coming up in August. And if you're thinking about coming out, you've got to make sure you come out in those early games and get behind the boys.
Definitely. Well, all that leads me to say is thank you both. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Danny. We, as you know, we all wish you the best for the start of the season, because you doing well means that we're all happy. So that makes our lives nice and easy, and we can just follow from afar. But good luck with the season ahead.
Cheers, Scott.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate that.